Hey Rob, you know that skit we're about to do where I pretend I didn't know you were here?
Nope.
But we need to interrupt it because I forgot to talk about the new t-shirts right here at Comicstorian.
Well, I really want to know about these t-shirts.
Okay, yeah, so what it is, it's a Comicstorian t-shirt. It's Spider-Man swinging towards you. He's wearing headphones and it goes thwip, thwip. It's really awesome. I would have them to show you, but I'm making this video long before they actually arrived at the house here. So we'll have them in later.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know, and you should totally get one too and then walk around with a Comicstorian shirt.
That's not going to happen.
And don't forget to check out what's on screen right now. Click the link down below. It's only available for 3 weeks. Guys, why don't you support us and pick up the new shirt? Let's go to the video. Today, guys, I thought it would be fun to maybe explain all of the different types of webbing that Spider-Man has. Explaining is something that I don't do, but...
No. I'm a big man. Move over.
Move over? Okay, I'm over.
I am the guy who explains things.
Do you explain things?
Yes, I
What
do.
do I do?
You read dramatically.
Oh, I see what you mean, Rob. So how about I explain things dramatically? How would I explain all of these types of webbing that I have found to you and the audience?
No, because then you make my channel obsolete.
All right, then, moving forward.
I explain things, you dramatically read. When you start dramatically explaining, then my channel has no reason to exist.
I like the direction we're going with this new thing, Rob. Welcome to Comics Explained, where I explain things down for you in a dramatic tone, recapping them in an epic manner. And today, we're gonna go over the various types of webbing that I have discovered.
Wow.
First up, did you know he has a quick drying cement webbing?
That kind of makes sense.
Right. I can't remember the exact issue that had happened, but it was a recent one where he had to do a whole bunch of things. It was like a filler issue between things.
Yeah.
I want to say it was tied to clone conspiracy, but a building was falling. And let me ask you this. You say it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
How does that make sense at all?
Well, because it's Spider-Man.
But he has cement. Even if it's not in his web shooter, it's on his web hip.
His web hip.
Web hip.
That's a thing?
That's a thing. his web hip.
Today I learned Spider-Man has a web hip. Wow. Yeah, okay, it's comic books, man. We're talking about a universe where a guy turns into a giant green rage monster.
It's cement, though.
It does not surprise me.
It's cement. Guys, it's cement. Quick drying cement.
Yeah, well, I mean, he probably keeps it in some kind of keeps it in flux so it doesn't harden.
Okay.
Which would actually be kind of funny. Just see him dragging around because he's got cement in his belt.
In his web hip.
In his web hip.
How about web bullets? There's an alternate universe that happened during Spider-Verse where everyone was trying to recruit the individuals within the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. One of those guys turned out to be an assassin level Peter Parker. I think he may have worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. and he had web bullets. The other Spider-Man did not agree with him, but would you argue with an assassin Spider-Man?
I would love to see an assassin Spider-Man. Dude, that would be amazing. Dude, that'd be so awesome. Like amazing assassin Spider-Man. Just dude, you'd be dead before you heard the web bullet that killed you.
Right. Before you heard the web bullet that killed you.
Web bullet that killed you. It'd be awesome.
How about sticky glue? Not only is he able to shoot webbing massively out of his wrist, I guess not, but he shoots webbing, but he can also do a small white sticky liquid that shoots about a foot away from him. And it sticks to a wall.
The way you're describing this.
I'm doing that on purpose.
It's anything but webbing.
It sticks to the wall.
Wow.
And it is simple, quick, sticky glue.
He doesn't shoot it into a sock.
Spider-Man shoots it into a sock.
I would say that's probably the most convenient thing that he has. Because I mean, Peter Parker's well, except for now. Before Parker Industries, he was always broke. So he's oh man, this thing that's painting on the wall or whatever it is coming off and is broken. I'll just use my sticky glue and keep it there. And just he just takes a picture down, he shoots his webbing on there and he's and we're done. I think it'd be awesome.
So you're just picturing a handyman Spider-Man using it?
That'd be perfect. That'd be it. Yeah. Some guy calls their landlord and they're oh man, this baseboard came out. I was all right, well I'm sending the handyman and here comes Peter Parker knocking on the door and it's splat and then just put it up and it's
splat.
Done. I'm just saying. I mean, I can see that happening.
All right. So as a part of his combat uses of his webbing, there's an acid webbing. Yeah. He uses the acid webbing primarily to defeat Sandman and break him down to a granular level. Mm-hmm. And from what I've read into this, basically he was used, and while that would normally kill someone, he walked away from the situation going, well, I don't think it'll kill you.
Well, I mean, it's Sandman. After a while, you just don't give a damn. The guy's made of sand. You know, it's like he's gonna come back eventually. Like,
But not if you break him down to the granular. I don't even know what the granular level is, but it doesn't sound like a level I want to be broken down to.
it's like it's mini sand.
It's mini sand.
It's tiny little sand.
So basically,
I don't know.
so Spider-Man just made a whole bunch of mini Sandmans with his acid webbing.
I guess. Dude, that would be a nightmare. Dude, that would be amazing. Spider-Man's like, yeah, I've got you now. And Sandman's like, no, you don't. Because now there's like minuscule versions of me. They're like gonna, I don't know, like erode your brain or something. Whatever. Like,
Okay.
I have no idea.
Not only has he gotten other uses for his webbing recently, but he also has created expanding web foam. Now I know you don't follow Dan Slott's current run, but that's where I first saw that one pop up.
I do follow Dan Slott's currently.
Okay, so let's pretend you don't for the sake of this
Okay.
video.
I do not read Dan Slott's. Ignore the videos that I've uploaded on Dan Slott's.
Okay, well then you know the
Correct.
one where he was in Tokyo and the cars are crashing and
Yes.
he sprayed the foam.
Yes.
I don't feel like that's webbing. I feel like it's just expanding foam.
I mean, that would make legitimate sense. I mean, webbing just seems like a sticky substance that's designed to like adhere to something in particular.
Right, that's like when Batman's like, this is a bat grenade and it's just a grenade.
Yeah.
But he calls it a bat grenade.
It's got a little Batman symbol on it.
Okay, so he has expanding web foam though. It expands outwards.
Yeah.
Okay. He has flame webbing. It's basically napalm. It was created by Doc Ock when he was Superior Spider-Man.
Yes,
And
I
when he was
remember that.
attacked by the Venom symbiote, he then basically just sprayed Venom down with flame.
Dude, and
webbing.
it was the coolest thing because he looked like he had flamethrowers in his hands. He's just like, fire! Just like spraying everything down. It was awesome.
Can you picture Spider-Man doing that though?
Oh,
Flamethrowers!
dude, it'd be the beastliest thing ever. Like you got like all the villains who were showing up and like, yeah, we're gonna get Spider-Man this time because all he has is this webbing. And he's like, actually, I got fire. And he starts spraying everybody down.
Do you remember back in the 90s?
Yes.
Do you remember the Clone Saga?
Oh, yes.
Do you remember Ben Reilly?
Yes, I
Ben
do.
Reilly was my hero when I was a kid.
He was
And
nobody's hero.
He invented one of the coolest things ever, impact webbing.
Yes.
Impact webbing is like balls of webbing that shoot out, but when it hits you, it's not a bullet, it goes and it wraps you up.
Yes. It was actually one of the coolest things to come out of the
Yeah,
console.
yeah, exactly. So what do you think about impact webbing?
I mean, I think it makes the most sense. I mean, impact webbing really just seems to be designed more for the purpose of just like encasing someone.
Right.
So like, you know, Peter Parker is just like, you know what, I don't like your face. And then
It's
just,
in all
like,
the video
shoots
games.
him.
Every
Yeah.
video game has impact webbing.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I think it's like a hallmark of his character.
Yeah, it's become a normal thing for him.
Yeah.
So has stinger darts. Apparently, Ben Reilly is the first one that invented the ability to just put in like tranquilizing darts.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that makes complete sense. Why do we not see more tranquilizing darts from Peter Parker?
Well, because I mean, it's not as fun. I mean, if you have to see Peter Parker like web some guy up,
Right.
or like just knock him out with a tranquilizer dart, which one sounds more fun?
Okay.
Think about it in
The
terms.
tranquilizer dart.
Think about it in terms of the
I like
video
a
game.
Spider-Man that just
No.
sits on sleeping
You
enemies.
got to think about it in terms of the video game, right? Like the video game comes out next year. Do you want to like tranquilize people, or do you want to like cover them in webbing?
I was the guy that played Metal Gear Solid 2 and tranked everyone.
No, I shot everyone.
Okay, well that's where we differ. Okay, so at one point he made a raft, and he used the raft, webbing raft, and he went down a river on it. But that's not even the coolest thing that he's done making like transportation. He made skis. And in the Superman Spider-Man crossover, yes, that is a thing. He used those skis to turn Superman into his own sled mush dog kind of a thing. And
What?
he got pulled along by Superman with his skis.
Okay, now I need to read it. I know it was the first Marvel DC crossover story in like 1976 or something like that.
Right.
But like now I need to go read that story because I want to see Superman pulling Spider-Man.
Woo!
Get along, little doggy. Like, I really want to see that.
And speaking of crossovers,
Okay.
did you know there's a Spider-Man Ren and Stimpy crossover,
No.
which invented a edible type of webbing. At least I like to assume it was an edible type. But he sprayed his webbing onto 2 plates, feeding Ren and Stimpy.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Edible webbing?
They ate,
I feel like-
you remember the episode where Ren and Stimpy went crazy when they were stuck in a cabin?
Yeah.
And like I think Ren was eating like a box full of like nails.
No,
and,
I don't
like,
remember
and, like,
that at all.
wood, and like he was freaking out. He's like, "It's peanut brittle." It was amazing. That makes sense to me.
He has another thing called. I gotta look at this. I look at the script for this one, guys. Yes, there is one to tell me the types over here, but I have to look at it because micro coiled Z metal, aka his bug zappers.
Wow.
He would basically shoot little like stun guns out at people and knock them out.
Wow. I bet that didn't last very long.
No, I don't know why Marvel doesn't like it whenever he comes up with cool stuff.
It was the experimental thing, the experimental phase. I don't know.
So he also has sonic disruptors in his
makes sense.
webbing. Now here's what I find weird. The sonic disruptors are classified as a webbing, but it's obviously a sound-based thing. It's not a webbing-based thing.
Well, I would imagine anything he shoots out of his cartridges would be a web-based thing.
Okay, so that's the rule we're gonna go with?
Well, I assume. I don't know, man.
Okay, all right. I have a few ideas, but I can't say them on the channel because it's family friendly.
Make up whatever you want to.
Okay,
comics.
he had an ice webbing that he used against the Human Torch once back in the day. It was entirely ice-based, but he discovered that his regular webbing was just as effective against the Human Torch. I don't know how.
I don't see that. The Human Torch can get as hot as the sun.
Right.
I have a hard time believing that Spider-Man's webbing is going to... Can Spider-Man go into space and just, like, web up the sun? Is that what we're expected to believe now?
Well, I mean, that same webbing was used to completely incapacitate Wolverine, the Hulk, and Iron Man in 3 different occasions. So, having the ability to withstand the Human Torch, maybe it's a thing.
Well, yeah, but...
But there was ice webbing. He did have webbing that was ice-based originally.
Well, the Incredible Hulk doesn't put off, like, heat. That's equivalent to the temperature of the sun.
But the Red Hulk does.
The Red Hulk does. Yes, he does.
Now, we also already know about his parachute, right? He's like, poof!
Yes.
Although when he falls from space, apparently he doesn't need to use that.
No, I mean, it's space. He just lands in the water.
But you know that he has the web gliders, right?
Yes.
The web wings.
Yes.
That started as a full-blown glider, and as the writers went on, it turned into web wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds very much like something that was pulled from the other guys. When Samuel Jackson and The Rock decided to aim for the bushes and then hit the ground and died.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine Spider-Man's like, we gotta aim for the bushes.
Spider-Man's like, F that! Whoa! Yeah. There's also, I could not find what this did, but in Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's apparently ionic webbing. I have no idea what it did.
Well...
I couldn't find anything, just that it exists, and it's a classification of his weapon.
Okay, okay, bear with me on this. Ionic webbing.
Okay.
All right. Ion blasters were from Star Wars.
Right.
Marvel's currently writing Star Wars.
No, ionic webbing came up way before that.
Don't question me on this. So, so Marvel's writing Star Wars. So ionic
the video's
webbing.
running long. We're just gonna. Okay.
No.
In Marvel Zombies.
I have a whole thing.
I know. That's why we're stopping it now.
No, I'm sad.
In Marvel Zombies, okay. In Marvel Zombies, he doesn't have webbing. He has vein webbing. And he takes his own veins and he flings them and he pulls himself along.
I remember that. Yeah, dude, I got creeped out every time I saw that. Like, ugh. It's nasty.
Vein webbing.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's the final thing that his webbing has ever made. And I want to know your opinion on this. I've only heard this with the rumor mill, but I heard that the webbing made the Spider-Man Elsa videos on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. There's actually a cartridge for it that spits out junk videos of Spider-Man and Elsa.
I believe that.
Yes.
Like, I believe that in its entirety. Because where in God's name else would those have come from? I have no idea. No rational human being would think of that. It had to come out of cartridges.
It had to come out of cartridges. Spider-Man had to have invented Spider-Man and Elsa. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little explanation video. The new Rob and Benny show, as we're going to dub it as it stands right now. This is the Rob and Benny show.
The Rob and Benny show.
Yes. If you like this, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the show and what topic you want him to explain to me. Because that's how we're going to do this. We're going to go back and forth.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe right here at Comicstorian. If you liked Rob, go check out his channel at Comics Explained. Yes. And you can follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian, him at Comics Explained.
My channel's better.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It literally is not.
It is.
I literally and figuratively.
Emotionally, my channel is better.
No.
Maybe not in terms of numbers, but in terms of like all the other things that don't matter, it is better.
I'll give you that. I have all the numbers. You have everything else.
I have the RobCore. I have RobCore rings. What do you have?
All right, guys. We're going to see you later right here. Don't forget to go check out the t-shirt and the link down below.
Yes, go check it out.
Yeah.